Is the Rambam's Maimonides the Golden Path? Is that a Jewish version of Aristotle's Golden Mean? And how do people apply that in daily life today?
So in essence, his Shvil Zahav, this is based on Aristotle's Golden Mean. Yes. In essence, from the Rambam's point of view, Aristotle was the greatest. He'd reached like the epitome of thinking. It's just that Jews and he himself have the Torah. So like with the Torah, there's something, a whole additional component that Aristotle was missing. The Rambam is really using it in the like the opening of the Mishnah Torah, where he really addresses it. It's supposed to be the guiding principle in the way we live, involving balance and harmony and rationalism. I think patience is something to consider. Humility is something, integrity. And these are the things that at least that come to mind for me. But it's not easy.
I mean, is this like a prelude to Musar, to morals, to the Musar movement? In other words, does the Musar movement look at this Golden Mean of Maimonides and use it at all?
I don't think so, because I don't see the Musar movement as being about balance, or in some cases all that rational. It's because the Rambam himself, I mean, it's an interesting thing to try to contemplate. You can't really psychoanalyze somebody who's not in front of you. But to consider the Rambam as a human being and his personality, there is an element of patience and humility, which is astonishing considering that he also speaks with profound authority. So how do you have humility when you clearly regard yourself so highly? But there's a way to do that if you consider if you use a rational approach to things. He's going to compare himself, presumably, within society to others, and in order to try to sort of find out where he rests related to other intellectuals. It's not something that we see all that often. I don't know. I can't think of anyone who really embodies this. Maybe I'm not an expert in Rabbi Sachs. I'm just thinking of like Lord Jonathan Sachs as to whether that he looked to the Rambam specifically and this idea of this golden path and this middle road. It's not easy.
It sounds like someone who's able to apply this, that's just like a formula for tremendous peace of mind, because everything is just so balanced, and
Yes,
people are looking for peace of mind today. How do I get that?
So it definitely is something where you have to stay above the fray. But it's funny because I don't know that it's a formula. The Rambam has something very interesting that he refers to in Moreh Nevuchim. It's like a passing thing, because he wrote this over a number of years, and he was writing it in essence in piecemeal as letters. Anyway, he idealizes it. It's for like the ideal student, for the ideal individual who can contemplate and ultimately wrestle with and ultimately bring together this idea of rationalism, of philosophy, and the Torah itself, even though they seem like they may be in conflict. And at points, certainly early on, he refers to this notion that, to the individual who's reading this, who's studying this, who wants to embody this, that you don't get angry, don't even get upset, don't be concerned with anybody who cannot and does not follow such a path. If you're somebody who's committed and you have integrity and you think in terms of truth, at least for myself, I can get upset if somebody is not like that. And the Rambam is referring to the situation where it's not your concern. It's not something you have to sort of stay focused. But that means that you also have to sort of stay nimble, I think. So I don't know that it's formulaic. I think philosophically speaking, it's a lot more complicated than that. But it does involve, in principle, it involves balance.